Minasan, ohayo gozaimasu. Welcome! This channel is for Japanese learners of English. Hyomo shadowing no lesson will yat ikimashou. Listen to today's real native conversation. Focus on the rhythm and shadow along. Practice daily to master tango, bunpao, hatsuan, and rhythm. Repeat and try again tomorrow if needed. Zei. Chenaru no toroku. Wo onegai shimasu. Okay, are you ready? Here we go.
Ever found yourself tongue-tied trying to introduce yourself in English?
Oh, I know that feeling. It's like suddenly you forget your own name, right?
Exactly. But it doesn't have to be that way. So what are the key things to say when you're introducing yourself in English?
Well, think of it like this. You're telling a mini story about yourself. Starting with a simple greeting like hi or hello is always a good way to kick things off. Then go straight into your name, saying, my name is I am. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's like the foundation, right? So after saying I am and telling them your name, what comes next?
Right. You want to share where you're from. That is super common. So you could say, I am from, and then fill in your city or country.
And that usually leads to some common ground, you know, like, oh, I've been there, or oh, I know someone from there.
Yeah, it opens things up. And if it's more formal, you can add in some extra details if needed.
Okay, so what about when you're at work and you have to introduce yourself to colleagues?
Good point. You'd want to mention your job title or what you do, like I work as a VA or that helps people understand your role within the company.
Makes perfect sense. After that, what's the next thing we need to say?
Well, it depends on the context, right? But you could talk about your hobbies or interests to make it more relatable.
Right, a good way to show a little bit more of your personality.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you could say something like, in my free time, I enjoy.
Yeah.
Or I'm really into.
That sounds like a natural way to end. So what's next?
Well, for the closing, a simple you, that's all from me, or thank you is perfect. It's simple, polite, and to the point.
So those are all the individual bits we need to consider. Anything else to consider when putting it all together?
Yeah, I think keeping it natural is key. Don't try to overcomplicate things. Just speak clearly, make eye contact, and be yourself.
Right. It is more about connecting with people than showing off your language skills, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And it's important to remember that, like, everybody gets nervous sometimes, right?
True. So what about the first impression? Any tips on how to nail that?
Good question. Well, smile, make eye contact, and be enthusiastic. Your body language can speak volumes even before you open your mouth.
Absolutely. And it's important to listen when they're introducing themselves, too.
Exactly. It's a two-way street, right? Showing genuine interest makes a world of difference.
What if I am introducing myself in a formal setting, like a conference or a business meeting? Should I be using a different approach?
Right. The approach will be different depending on context. For formal occasions, you need to make sure you're sounding professional. So avoid slang or informal language.
Okay, that makes sense. Be professional, but be relatable. And what are some of the common mistakes people should avoid?
Well, rambling too much is a big one. Keep it concise. And don't try to use words or phrases that you're not comfortable with. Stick to what you know.
Right. Confidence beats complex vocabulary every time, right?
Exactly. Also, try to avoid being too negative or overly self-deprecating. Keep it positive.
So, to recap, we're talking simple greetings, sharing your name, where you're from, what you do, some hobbies, and then closing with a thank you. Easy peasy.
And remember, a little bit of enthusiasm and a genuine smile can make all the difference, you know?
Perfect. So now that we've covered all the ground, anyone trying to do a self-intro in English should be ready for anything.
Yeah, they've got all the tips they need to be confident and introduce themselves.
All right, we've finished today's lesson. How did you find it? 理解できない部分はありませんでしたか? Repeat and try again tomorrow if needed. Please let me know your kansa or request in the comments. ぜひチャンネルの登録をお願いします. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. See you next time. Bye bye.